welcome to Thursdays.
Hey, we're glad you're here. Thursday's True and Trivial Talk.
All right, we are glad to have you this morning. We have survived Easter. It was a great Easter, and we're gonna do we're gonna do like a post-Easter sort of theme a little bit by doing a Did They Peep It quiz today. I've got some different peep flavors I'm going to walk Matt through to see if he can guess Did They Peep It. And of course, we have some actual peeps here.
I'm not a Peeps fan.
You know what? I'm not
saying.
either. So I feel like the consequences for getting it wrong
So
are fair.
why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Well, we'll get to that in a second.
All
We're
right,
also going to do
all
a quick dad fail. I have a dad fail. I don't know if you have one, but it's related to the whole post-Easter stuff. And then we're going to close things out by asking the question, why we do what we do. Why do we do ministry? How did God call Matt and I to ministry, and why we do what we do today?
Sounds good, man.
So I got to ask you, dude, how do you guys handle the surplus candy in your home after like Easter and Halloween?
I mean, we put it into the kids have their stash.
They're allowed to have a stash?
Yeah, they have their own stash. They keep it in a box. Okay. The boys got to keep it away from the youngest, our daughter, because she will straight up steal and rummage through their stuff when she doesn't have what she likes in hers. So
she will borrow and not give it back, right?
Yeah. They're pretty good about moderation, but they're not on the day of. On the day of, they kept going. We had to stop them and say,
"You took my gummy hamburger." I was like, so glad I got that one.
Yeah. But what about you, man?
We if you follow me on Facebook, we had a little bit of a candy catastrophe. And my second oldest daughter, so the church gave us a bunch of candy, these little Easter kits and whatnot, but she snuck into the office where we hadn't locked up the candy yet, or hidden it very well, and she took all of her brother and sister's candy, and somehow snuck it into her room and hid it in different places. So I told her goodnight, and about 4 a.m. that night, I hear this, "I don't feel so good." Of course, I hear that sound on the monitor, I just jump, like I levitate out of my bed and just run. So this is part of my dad fail here I got to share, okay? This is my dad fail. We did not secure the Easter candy very well from the sneaky little Gollum hands of my daughter. She's just eating in the corner. This kid. So she threw up. 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
and thankfully, I got the bucket to her just in time. In fact, I took her to the restroom. She's like, "I don't want to throw up in the restroom. It smells so bad." I'm like, "Baby, this is happening now."
Yeah.
She's like, "I want the bucket." I'm like, "Where's the bucket?" And, and she made some chocolate fondue. So I didn't put two and two together until like the next day. My wife, Brooke, got her to confess, and she revealed all the candy wrappers that she had just hoarded in this bucket. And it was at least like 3, maybe 4 pounds of candy this kid just threw down. And like we put her to bed, she just ate all this candy, and it did not agree with her too well.
How'd she get her to confess? Like, how'd that process go down?
I don't know. I wasn't there for this. I got a text and a picture while I was at work, and and I just could not believe it.
Yeah.
It was just so sheepish. In fact, she was like, Don't tell everybody about it. Sorry, it's going to the podcast.
Your wife said not to tell everybody, or your daughter
My
said
daughter
not to?
did.
Oh, okay.
I love you, sweetie, but it was just too good to share.
Yeah, you
eat all the candy and you throw up. I'm sorry. It's just the natural consequences both ways.
It's a funny story.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah. Dad failed there. Secure the candy. Now we've bought lock boxes, about a toolbox. We're going to put a padlock on it, and that's where the candy goes.
Okay.
Sugar does not agree with our kids too well. I'll just say that.
So I'm curious, you and your sweet tooth, do you have a key to this lockbox?
Brooke has sworn that she will not give me the combination to the padlock.
Yeah.
So I will figure it out.
And you thought it was for the kids.
I know, it's mostly
for the kids and for Dad.
Because I love me some Skittles and Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Ain't no lie.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, good times. So we survived it. And in light of all this candy, I got a quiz for Matt.
First of all, did you get your little matching Easter family pick?
We quasi-matched. We had the boys match and the girls match, and then I just made sure my colors matched. Yeah. I didn't pick out my outfit. Come on, who am I kidding here? My wife is great about figuring out what I have that might match what the kids are wearing. So
yeah, like my wife put me in a tie that morning.
Oh,
so
dude,
that's a big deal.
I don't do ties.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't really either. But it was Easter, so I thought, okay. The boys, she wants the boys to do it, so I'll match them for a day. But
fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, you ready to do this Did They Peep It quiz?
I guess so.
How do you feel about peeps? Do you like them?
Well, I I think I answered that, but
kind of did. But give me some elaborate on your feelings about Peeps.
I mean, I think they're so overrated. So, story about my daughter. Her favorite imaginary friend right now is actually a bear a little teddy bear that wears a Peeps hoodie. So it's got a yellow Peeps hoodie.
Peeps has really increased their marketing into stuffed animals.
Right?
Well done,
Peeps. This is her best friend right now. Like she goes everywhere with her. So
wow,
that is. I mean, I guess I'm loving Peeps because of that, because it's a special memory. But I don't
love how they taste.
I don't love the taste of them.
It's a marshmallow unless it's roasted over fire is kind of dead to me.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you there.
So how this is going to work is I'm going to have a quiz for Matt.
Okay.
Now, if Matt gets it right, I have to eat a Peep.
Okay.
If he gets it wrong, he has to eat a Peep.
So I guess I better open mine.
You got to open your Peeps up. So I got blue. What flavor is this?
Why did I get the pink ones?
I don't know. I just,
You couldn't like give me yellow or something?
I had blue and I had pink, and that's what. And by the way, these Peeps were donated to us from Jack Martin. He had a lot of different flavors, and he donated some to us.
Thank you, Jack.
Which we appreciate. Jack, appreciate your Peeps. They're going to a good cause. Ministry. I guess we can call it that, right?
Is this really a good cause?
It is a good cause.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't have a moment like my daughter did. All right.
Yeah.
So we got our Peeps. You get it right, I have to eat one. You get it wrong, you gotta eat one.
I'll do it.
All right. So we don't have to. You can actually swallow. It's not gonna be like chubby.
Begrudgingly, I will do it.
It's not gonna be a chubby bunny. We have to keep them all in your mouth. Just get it done, and we'll go from there. And if you aren't feeling so good after this podcast, you'll know why.
Okay.
All right. You ready for this?
I think so.
Okay. So the quiz: did they peep it?
Did they peep it?
All right. So I'm gonna give you the flavor. And you got to guess.
So I've got to guess, like,
is this an actual real
kind of like the
flavor?
whole pumpkin spice thing back in the fall?
Exactly.
Okay.
Did they pumpkin spice it? We're just going right back to the well for this one.
Okay.
No
ready.
shame. All right. Did they peep it? Key lime.
Key lime. That'd be
Key
good.
lime.
I'm gonna say yeah. They probably peeped that.
You know, if it sounds good, they didn't.
Oh.
They did not peep it.
All right.
Sorry, my friend.
I got to eat a peep.
You got to eat a peep.
All right.
Get it done. Now, I will ask you the next question before you're done chewing on that marshmallow.
No, go ahead.
I will. I'll do it. All right. Let's see here. Bacon. Did they peep it?
Surely they peeped. They bacon peeped.
They bacon all the things, right?
Yeah.
Nope, they didn't peep it.
Oh, man.
Eat another one, my friend.
All right.
You're striking out. Okay.
Maybe they should make bacon peeps.
Okay. All right. I got one for you here. You ready?
I will buy those if they did bacon peeps.
It's just like maple bacon, like that maple bacon donut at Duck Donuts. Oh, best $2 donut you would have in your life.
Stuff. All right.
Yeah. All right. Did they peep it? Sugar plum.
Sugar plum. I'm going to say no.
You're striking out, man.
Oh.
They peeped it.
Man, it's like a Christmas thing, and they don't do peeps at Christmas, do they?
Oh, they peeped the sugar plum.
Like
yes,
when?
they did.
When did they put those out? Like
I don't know, man. They peeped. All right. Before you finish this one, I'm going to ask you next question. Did they peep
I
it?
might be ending up like your daughter here soon.
I know. Do you need a bucket?
No, I'm
not
good.
yet. We're going to have some pink liquid here soon. All right. Oh yeah. Little Kool-Aid reference there for you. All right. Did they peep it? Sour cherry.
I'm going to say yes, they peeped it.
You are correct, my friend.
Okay.
So I must eat one finally.
Do it.
All right, let's get this blue peep here. This is just let's put sugar on top of sugar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the flavor of sugar with the flavor of sugar.
So sweet. I love sweet stuff, but man, that's.
Oh.
I think it's something about the texture too. Like it's just,
It looks like you're just gritting on sugar.
on sand. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like sand
sand
dissolving in your mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like they dropped like a wet, moist marshmallow in sand and said, all right, eat this.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Did they peep it? Pancakes and syrup.
Oh, surely they peeped that. That would be good.
Oh, they peeped it.
All
That
right.
means I gotta eat another one. Dang
Dude.
it.
Come on.
Ugh. All right. Well, it's a good thing I haven't had lunch yet.
Yeah.
Because this will suffice.
Yeah. Oh man,
Butter.
I'll have to look for those pancakes and syrup.
Hey, who doesn't like pancakes and syrup?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Next one.
This kind of reminds me of a Chubby Bunny.
I know a little bit, right?
All right.
Okay. Fruit punch. Did they peep it?
Fruit punch. That would be good too. I mean, as good as Peeps
Doesn't mean it's going to be.
I'm going to say yes.
Yes, they peeped it?
Yes, they peeped it.
Oh my gosh, I am not getting a break here. Yes, they peeped it. They peeped the fruit punch.
I'm enjoying this. This is good.
Yeah, you're liking it. Now, I feel like I need a break here. And there's no like back and forth. It's just solid peep.
You can give me some of those, but you already know the answers.
Well, so. No local of them.
Okay.
Well, okay, you ready for this next one?
Okay. Dude, I can like straight up hear your
munching and
your
crunching
saliva and your chewing in the microphone.
Yeah. You're welcome for that,
I'm
everybody.
sure they're loving that. Yeah.
Okay. Party cake. Did they peep it?
Party cake. Yeah.
Party cake. Did they peep it?
I would say maybe birthday cake. I don't know. Is that the same?
Party cake and birthday cake could be totally different things.
I'll say no, they didn't peep it.
Oh, they peeped it. You better eat yourself a peep, my friend.
I wanted to say yes, but then I thought, no, that seems kind of obvious.
I got peep remnants all over my fingers. Mm-hmm. My notes are going to be very, very sticky. All right, here we go. Cotton candy. Did they peep it?
Surely they peeped cotton candy.
Of course they did, because it's sugar.
Yep.
There's no flavor to it. Yeah, they peeped it. So that means I'm eating another one.
Come on, man.
And I feel like this is not fair. I feel like there's a lot of they peeped it things in here. Which means I'm down. I've eaten how many packs? There's like 10. I've eaten 4 peeps now.
Yeah.
I regret this decision. Whose idea was this again?
I think this was your idea.
Actually, I blame my dad. I think my dad came up with this idea. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Dad.
All right. Okay, I got 3 for Luke because I do not want to eat on one of these things again. Okay. Okay. Well, 3 for Luke. I think this one. I may end up eating the peep on this. All right, here we go. Chocolate chip. Did they peep it?
Oh, chocolate chip. Sure, they peeped it.
Oh, they fell for it. They didn't peep it.
Well,
Eat one.
They should peep it. That might actually be a good peep.
Gotcha. I needed a break from this sugar madness. I'm about to just be buzzed out of my mind on a sugar high here. Okay, we got 2 more left. I got 1 peep left, and you got 1 peep left in your 5 tray. We've both eaten 4. All right, here we go. Red velvet. Did they peep it?
Actually, I've eaten 5.
You eaten 5? How do you? Oh, because did you dip in the other?
Yeah, red velvet. Red velvet.
Did they peep red velvet?
Yes, they peeped it.
They did. Oh, come on. Oh,
I like me some red velvet.
Okay. All right, you ready for this last one?
Yes.
All right, last one. Apple pie. Did they peep it?
I've actually seen these. Yes, they peeped it.
Apparently, according to this, they did not peep apple pie.
I've seen them.
Well, according to this is the gospel on peeps.
All right.
So according to this, you must eat 1 more peep, my friend. Sorry.
I'm going to the store and I'm going to find the apple.
Maybe it's like apple crisp or apples or candy apples. Maybe it's candy apples, but it's not apple pie. Apple pie, they did not peep. No.
I'm done with peeps.
Maybe they did this year, and this quiz is maybe a year old. So maybe the apple pie is something they did this year, and by request they added it. Oh, goody. I feel so sick right now. So let's talk about deep things in the gospel. Oh.
Okay. Be done with the
we might need to take a break just so that we can just drink some water. Oh, my word.
I'm good.
Okay. Oh, this is bad. Oh, we are not doing one of these food games again.
Yeah, next Easter, let's not do this.
Yeah, hard pass. We have learned the lesson the hard way, much like my daughter learned not to binge on 4 pounds of candy in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that concludes our Did They Peep It quiz and our fun stuff. Now we're going to move on to a more serious segment where Matt and I thought it'd be good for us to kind of share with you our story of how we kind of got into ministry and what led to that and what kind of keeps us motivated today.
So is there a story of how we kind of got into ministry?
How we kind of got into it? Well, Matt, why don't you start us off and tell us how did God call you to ministry and give us a little bit of story of sort of how you are where you are now.
Sure. I grew up in a home where, I mean, my parents loved Jesus, and we would go to church all the time. And you know, I remember when I was a kid, just about to get into the youth group, I just thought, I don't want to get into that youth group because, you know, I don't want to be with those teenagers. And, you know, I just.
Wait, this is when you were a teenager saying this?
That was when I was a kid saying this. So, like, when that time came, I remember I just was reluctant, and it didn't take long for me to realize that, okay, I love doing this, and I love being a part of this. I loved coming to church. I loved doing stuff with my youth group. I loved camps. And so when you get to the point where you're about 18 and you're starting to think, okay, what is it I want to do with my life? And I just couldn't. Of course, I wanted to be a lot of different things growing up, like every kid does.
Yeah.
But there's just none of those really felt like, okay, that was going to be something that I could seriously, realistically do for a living, or that just didn't really resonate. And so I thought to myself, what is it that I love doing more than anything? And that was being with my youth group and being a part of church. And so I thought,
so becoming a youth pastor was your way of prolonging youth
yeah, right. Like
for eternity.
If I become a youth pastor, I can like go to camp all the time.
I never have to leave youth group.
Right. Never have to leave
the reasoning
youth
is
group.
sound.
Yeah. And so, of course, that couldn't be the reason why I was. But I just, I just asked God, say, God, this is, as I'm thinking and preparing for what is it you want me to do, and thinking about where to go to college. I'm not sure what you want me to do, but this is something that, as I looked to my youth pastor, I really admired him. I had two different youth pastors. I really admired them, and just their their ability to relate to me, and the love they had for me. And I thought, that'd be cool. And so the more I thought about that, the more I just was like, okay. And then I think it was the summer right before my freshman year of college, just with camp and everything, I just really sensed that God was moving me to give back, and moving me to be to kids coming up what my youth pastors were to me. And I said, okay, God, this seems like where you might want me to go. And so I declared that as a major. I went to a Christian college, but the more I studied it, and the more I got to be a part of actual ministry, I loved it. And I kept saying, okay, God, you can still come in and confirm that this is where you want me to go, or, you can slam the door, give me a bad experience, and I'll know that this isn't where I'm, but it just, in almost 27 years of doing this, I mean, wow. God just continues to show me that this is what I have for you. Now, I'm not saying that that's what I'll be doing, for long term, although it's been long term, but, I love getting to work in the local church. I love getting to minister. I love getting to help families, help kids. And I'm burdened for teenagers today. I'm burdened for what they're going through, where they're at. And we're in a war. We really are in a war for the hearts and minds of this generation. And I feel like I can do some good there and be a part of that. And I want to be a part of God's rescue mission to help our teenagers to realize that they don't have to live like the world. They don't have to follow the ways of the world, but that they can be different and set apart. And
that's cool, man. It's a really cool story how things kind of came around. And now, how was there ever like a moment where you feel like, okay, that's it?
Those moments just they continue to come, and I mean, there's no specific moment where I could say beyond shadow of a doubt that yes, this is it for the rest of my life. But for that day, for that time, it just God continued to confirm that, and even still today, where I just I'll come off of an event. We've got an event coming this weekend, but that is. After those, I come away from those feeling a tremendous amount of relief and satisfaction, just in knowing that our students got a chance to be challenged in their faith, to go into the Word, and when they make decisions like. So going back to your question, I think every time a student takes that next step, whether it's giving their life to Christ for the first time, or deciding that they want to they want to go deeper, or that they even want to follow my footsteps and do ministry, like that is so tremendously rewarding.
That's cool, man. So you kind of answered the second part of the question too, which was what motivates you to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's to see those light bulbs, to see that transformation, and to see students pick up the torch of ministry, much like you did from your youth pastor.
One of my favorite things to do is to see our students come back, and when they work camp or when they work an event. Several of those students are coming to work the event this weekend, and
awesome.
To see them with small groups and to see them investing the way that they've been invested in, I love that, and just to see that, okay, I did something right here. Not that it was
That's
not
true
that
discipleship,
it was me.
right?
Yeah,
That's multiplication. That's you have trained them up, and they've had other experiences, and people fed into them. Here they are doing ministry themselves,
Sure.
which is the way it's supposed to be.
And it had way more to do with their parents, than me. But just that I get to be a small part of that. I mean, and obviously, of course, God. God did that. But He used the parents, and then used me just to play a small part in that. But it's tremendously rewarding. I love getting to do it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, I was, so many of you know that I grew up as a missionary kid in Japan. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up around missions and church planting, and that was a really good experience. So probably around 13, I really sensed God calling me to maybe do something ministry related. I wasn't so sure what it was. And by the time I was a junior in high school, we were stateside. I went to an actual youth group for the first time. It was my first experience in a youth group, and it was an amazing experience. And I was thinking more in terms of going maybe into journalism at the time. I was really loved writing. I was involved doing school newspaper kind of stuff. But Greg Dupre, the youth pastor at Cypress Bible Church when I was there at the time, man, he just had a heart for missions, and I just had a great experience here where I felt like God was giving me and equipping me to do maybe some ministries when I went back to Japan to my Christian school there. And God laid on me a desire to do middle school ministries. There was a big need for that, for the international students there. And so when I went back to Japan for my senior year in high school, man, I just did all the things. Like I had like maybe 3 classes that were actually academic, but I just did all the ministry things, all the like extracurriculars. It was just nuts. But I got involved with called it JAM, Jesus and Me. It was a middle school.
Well, our Wednesday night middle school program was called that too.
Hey, I think like half the middle school programs in the States. JAM. Yeah. So we did JAM. It was a middle school ministry. I had some of my friendships I formed there were just great. I really found myself enjoying getting to teach the Bible. I mean, my first youth talk I gave there was like 40 minutes over the 12 virgins or the 10 virgins parable about some of the end time stuff and being ready. And it was like, okay, wrong. Yeah, I was pretty engaging in it, but maybe should have chosen a different, a different passage. So
that was your very first one with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good times. But you learn a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember getting to be the main speaker, student speaker for our high school youth group retreat when I was in Japan, and I really enjoyed just getting to share God's word. And by the time I was done doing my senior year in high school, and had been doing these what we call gospel teams, where on a summer we get in these vans and we drive around Tokyo and the city of Osaka, handing out tracts and trying to have events to connect with high school students. I really developed a heart for high school ministry in Japan, and I wanted to start coffee shop ministries as a way to bridge between church culture and Japanese youth culture. So that was where I really sensed God leading me when I went into Bible college at Columbia International University, and I took a degree in youth ministry, double majored in that in Bible, and also ran the school newspaper. But man, my whole focus there was how to do creative youth ministry in Japan. And by the time when I graduated, I did like a vision trip there for a couple months. I really realized that, man, this is, I grew up in Japan, but I don't know if I'm wired to do ministry in Japan. Just the culture and my personality. I'm very much an entrepreneur, and it's hard to be an entrepreneur in ministry in Japanese culture because they're very rigid in their way of thinking, which would have been very challenging for me. But it was interesting. God shut that door, but He opened up windows. And I took a part-time youth ministry job in New Jersey, which had a great experience there. And eventually I moved to Austin, doing some random stuff, and then I ended up being a Bible teacher at a Christian school, which I never saw myself doing, but I loved it. Got to teach Bible to middle school students every day. It was awesome. That's where I met my wife. And then, I kind of started to get the itch to go back into youth ministry. And so I went back into youth ministry, and it had some great experiences. And eventually this church here at Pflugerville called me to do singles ministry and young adults and a bunch of other crazy random stuff. And it's been great. I love getting to be a pastor, and the calling has been sort of this progress, right? And it's changed over the years too. Yours has been a little more monogamous. Monogamous? That's not the word I'm looking for, because it's like, you've been faithful to one kind of ministry. Yeah. I'm thinking more monochromatic, maybe. It's like you've been in youth ministry for a long time, whereas I've been in a lot of different avenues and whatnot. But, what really gets me really, really just excited is finding new and creative ways to communicate the gospel.
Yeah.
Find new ways to reach people, to connect the church with communities, and to see people's lives change as they get it, and to see them want to get involved with service. I love seeing people use their gifts and finding creative ways to serve the church. That just really, man, that gets me all kind of jazzed.
Sure, man.
And it's just really cool to see that. So when we have church members say, hey, I can do this, is there a way for you to use it? I'm like, oh, that's so cool. We will find a way to put you to work for the glory of God and for the growth of this church. And that's, being the connections pastor, this is my jam.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what gets us up in the morning, and that's why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
We like seeing people's lives change. That's what God has called us to rescue people, and not just to see people's lives change, but to continually change and to pick up the torch to do ministry themselves, either full-time or just as their service to God. So
that's cool, man.
Anyway, well, this sort of wraps up our serious segment on this. Matt, you have any additional thoughts? You got D Now coming up in a couple days.
Yeah. I was actually going to say I think I'm sick from the peeps, but no. Well, you want me to go serious?
Yeah.
No, we have our Revolution Weekend this weekend, and it's going to be a great weekend. But our theme for the weekend is stand, and I mentioned earlier that we're in a war for the hearts and minds of these students, and so this weekend is really all about helping them understand their place in this world and how they can stand on God's truth.
Understand where to stand.
Stand strong in truth, even though the world seems to be going the opposite way. We live in a cancel culture right now, and helping our students realize that, regardless of what the world thinks of what's right, and that the world has flipped it now, where what was once wrong is now seems right, and what's right is now wrong. Kind of helping our students get back to what is truly right and how to stand on that in spite of what the world tells you, and
have that confidence and the tools to be able to explain what they believe.
So we'll be dealing a lot this weekend with just the war, the armor that we have in fighting against the enemy and his tactics, and how to have victory. So
it's cool, man.
It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I would ask that y'all be in prayer for Matt, and as you know, it's a spiritual battle, and he's going to be. It's a high demanding weekend, so be praying for Matt. That God gives him the energy and wisdom to do what he's got to do. Pray for the speaker and for the students. And I prayed last time, but I would like to pray again, so I can pray for you.
Cool,
you cool with that?
Yeah, man. I really appreciate that.
All right, let's close this thing out in prayer. Dear Father, we thank you so much that we have the opportunity to be used by you for ministry, to make a difference in people's lives. You didn't have to include us. You could have just done it without us, but you have chosen to bring us in, which I think is just a tremendous responsibility, a tremendous opportunity to sink our teeth in and be used in a way that is so meaningful and so purposeful. God, we thank you for this. God, we ask that you give Matt the strength he needs this weekend, the energy he needs, and the focus and wisdom. Change these students' lives through the faithfulness of those who have chosen to engage in ministry. Transform them from the inside out. So we ask for this, and we pray for this, and we look forward to what you'll continually do through your church all over the world. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, brother.
All right, we got about a minute and 20 seconds before the camera shuts down because it says, I'm too hot. Yep. So, Matt, how can people follow us?
They can follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts.
Just the first and original and the biggest one. That's all.
Right. But yeah, we're all out there in all the places.
On the Googles.
Yeah.
And if you watch this on YouTube, hey, hit that thumbs up button. Okay? We're not too proud to ask for that. Go for it. Hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell.
Subscribe.
Share it. Subscribe. Yep. Yeah. We're not too not above that. No shame here.
Go eat you some beefs.
Yeah, we got some extra if you want some.
Please. Take them.
Hey, they're yours.
They're going in the trash.
And this podcast is done.
Bye.
Y'all have a good day.